Frederick Winslow. Frederick Winslow is using classical approach. The classical thinking approach emphasizes the search for method to manage work and organization efficiently. Frederick Winslow specifically emphasized the system of work in detail to find the most efficient way to perform a specific task. Frederick Winslow believed that productivity could be increased by providing financial reward to employees who were entitled to the result produced. The more revenue that is produced, the higher salary or wages that need to be paid. Frederick Winslow developed 4 principles of scientific management. The essence of the 4 principles is the use of scientific methods to determine how task needs to be done. Viewpoint. When the idea is placed into action, agencies can see their manufacturing numbers increase. However, there are a few flaws that make this specific control worsen much less than appealing in office. These pitfalls include by trying to expecting and manipulate human behavior. This idea overlooks the significance of human members of the family and creativity. This ideal perspective employs nearly as machines, however, fails to remember what activity satisfaction, worker enter and moral can convey to the workplace. The classical control idea can assist streamline production operation in which excessive productiveness. Related example. Scientific studies are conducted for each task and the best methods are identified to perform the task. Tasks are separated into several main elements. For example, in garment saving activities, it has drawing pattern, cutting, saving, and wrapping. Division of work and responsibilities is held. For example, the manager is responsible for planning and employees performing tasks. The manager plans who will draw the pattern, cut, sew, wrap, and so on. Advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of this theory are effective creation. This is conceivable since it accentuates the upgrades in assembly and business measures. At the point when administration and laborers co-work, collaboration to an expansion underway. The advantage of this theory are worker joblessness. This is because the idea supports the utilization of current innovation machine in creation. This dispenses with the more serious requirement for human force. Consequently, numerous individuals lost their position. Henry Gunn. Henry Lawrence Gunn was best known for his work in the development of scientific management. He used classical approach in management. Specifically, he used scientific management theory. Henry Gunn introduced task and bonus salary system. Employee will receive a bonus if complete the task for the day and still receive the day rate even if the task was not finished. He also introduced Gantt chart, which is a tool that shows what happened during a project in visual format. The chart focuses on the sequential completion of tasks that make up a project. Viewpoint. Despite the passage of time, the Gantt chart withstood the look at all through the time. Change had been made and weaknesses had been made. Nowadays, there are many numerous strategies which may be used so that we can accompany the Gantt chart and cause them to extra beneficial and extra efficient. Related example. Gantt charts are used to easily plan the progress of a project so that the project runs smoothly. It also used to set the start time and end time of each activity carried out by the company. It is very helpful to make inspection and comparisons of a project. For example, to improve the performance and profitability of the company, management is responsible for checking the results that have been released by the previous months and making studies to increase the quantity of goods to be released. Advantage and the disadvantage. The advantage of Gantt chart is visualizing venture plan throughout time. Gantt chart permit us to construct a venture plan and visualize all paintings in a bar chart throughout time. As a result, we got a visible illustration that could percentage with senior management and the whole venture team. The disadvantage of Gantt chart is Gantt chart not always intuitive, mainly in case that use a spreadsheet like software program consisting of Microsoft project, Smartsheet or Write. Additionally, it takes effort and time to set the up in case we attempt to include in undertaking hyperlinks from the conventional task control software program. Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol is known as the father of management. While working as an engineer, he had introduced a very effective management theory and had helped the profit the mining company of his workplace, which was then at a loss. Henry Fayol was using classical approach, or specifically classical organizational theory, that emphasized the effort to establish comprehensive guidelines and methods for managing complex organizations. Henry Fayol believed that management practice in an organization can be identified through certain patterns. He is founder of the 14 Principles of Management and the 5 Functions of Management. These principles define the talents required for effective management. Viewpoint. The 5 functions uncover the requirement for association to design and be dexterous, notwithstanding changing economic situation. Fayol was one of the principal individuals to perceive that administration is a non-stop cycle. Related example. At Petronas, one of the 14 Henry Fayol's theory has been applied. For example, the application of the principle of reasonable wages. This is because there are many employees who receive high wages in accordance with their position and workloads. As we know that Petronas attaches great importance to the welfare of its employees. Employees are considered as many company assets, not only as factors of production. The high wages are from an appreciation for employees according to their workload. For example, an employee who must enter to work during a national holiday, even though he can replace his off day on another day. Advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of the theory Henry Fayol in the financial situation is administrative management has a green position in handling the economic affair to enterprise corporation. It is control method that specializes in keeping all costs inside the determined budget. It supervises all price range of the agency and guarantee that there may be no wastage of cash, which allow in keeping a wholesome economic situation. The disadvantage of this theory is management-oriented. The theory of administrative control is a strategic control-oriented concept. This concept does no longer supply any interest to the troubles of workers. Ignoring human behavior could have negative consequences on the overall performance of the company.
Mary Baker Foley. She is known as Mother of Modern Management and was an American social worker, management consultant, philosopher, and pioneer in the field of organizational theory and organizational behavior. She advocated an emphasis on interpersonal relationships, emphasis mechanical and operational in management. Viewpoint of the Mary Baker Foley is based along with her expertise for making incisive and well-timed intervention into the high-growth arena, has made her a permanent citizen of cutting-edge corporation theory. It may be now no longer unfair to assert that at the least numerous of the authors inside her backyard of writing have, in a single manner or other, benefit from the relative openness that characteristic the sector today. Related example of theory bullet no one can become a complete human being except as a member group. Believe that the existence of all different between manager subordinated must get this natural relationship. While I argue that for management and worker to be part of a group, traditionally view had to be a burden. She believed that leadership should not come from the power of formal authority, but must be from the skill and knowledge of higher manager. The manager is enough to be the person who is most equipped to lead the group. According to Mark Becker, leadership theory is positive power with rather than coercive power of rather of showing personal authority to lead a developed group power according to Paulette disease. Advantage and disadvantage. The advantage is direct touch among personal and boss facilities company keep away from struggle and misunderstanding. Early stage is coordination must be found out and mastered immediately away. The worker must experience much less essential than the next. Every has a full self-function and they complement the job of other. The disadvantage is few writer and corporation have more as her classical thinking overlook the social nature of the strategic concept inside the control of operation. Max Weber. His name is Maximilian Karl Weber. He is German sociology, historian, jurist, and political economist. He is using classical approach in management. He argued that bureaucracy was the most efficient and rational model private business and public office could operate in. According to Max Weber bureaucracy theory, bureaucracy is the foundation for any organization's systematic function and it is intended to ensure efficient and economic effectiveness. Viewpoint of bureaucracy is bureaucracy as a selection of controls still applicable and essential to cut-edge operation. They are ways of being of large scale size, recurring obligation, and to the one overall performance of which in basically and literally is based on excessive diploma of hierarchy and formalization of biographic form. Real example of the biography is the problem for cutting-edge control is a way to take benefit and lessen the negative aspect with inside the maximum suitable software. Private sector is private companies, NGO, private school. For public sector biography is central government, local government, and more. Example of executive biography is cabinet, department, ministry of state. Example for state biography is lay and judiciary. Advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of biography is the time paperwork has a terrible connection and it regularly connected to authorities group and big enterprise. The big enterprise with many hierarchy layers can end up based and printing effectively. It is exactly the setup policy and strategy that led in the excessive performance steady execute of labor with the aid of using all personnel. Specifically, hierarchically invertible in enterprise, wherein law perform a critical position in handling over a steady output. This advantage of the vibrancy is characteristic with the aid of using a big quantity of crimson tape, paperwork, many desks, positive workplace, way of life, and sluggish vibrancy conservation because of many hierarchy layers. Likewise, extraordinary depend on regulation and coverage complement.